Gymnastics may not be taken that seriously as a sport by some people, but it's actually one of the riskiest sports in the world. Anything can go wrong at any moment, and most of these accidents happen on a trampoline. Trampolines are an integral part of gymnastics, and in this video, we'll be taking a look at some of the scariest trampoline moments in gymnastics history. 3-year-old injured after trampoline incident. Doctors have already sent out countless warnings to parents to not let them go to trampoline parks. Unfortunately, trampoline accidents are now increasingly common, and with trampoline parks popping up in every corner, they're only getting even more common. Take this one case, for example. A 3-year-old boy in Tampa, Florida had a tumble at a trampoline park that caused him to break multiple bones in his body. The story gained national news attention when the mother of the child posted a picture of him in a full body cast. It's unclear whether the child's injuries were severe enough to leave him permanently disabled, but we sure hope they weren't. According to ABC News, the parents signed a waiver before allowing their child to enter the trampoline park, which means they can't sue. Even if the child had died, there was no possible way for the parents to sue. This has led many to wonder whether kids should even be allowed in trampoline parks or not. But that's another story. Why you should never double bounce. A double bounce is a super cool trampoline trick that has become increasingly popular over the years. It requires multiple people. The way it works is that one person perfectly times their jump and uses the force created by the bounce of another person to create this sort of mega jump that leaves you flying in the air. Of course, you can already tell how dangerous this can be if you're not careful. In 2012, a YouTube channel called Ishkab Malik uploaded a video of some kids attempting to do a double bounce on their own. While the attempt at sending the child higher in the air seemed to be working for the first few bounces, things took a turn for the worst when the child went so high up in the air that it caused him to lose almost all control over his body, sending him outside the direction of the trampoline. Thankfully, the child was caught up in the net surrounding the trampoline, which may have just saved his life. This video is yet another reminder of why you need to be extremely careful when you're on a trampoline. And you need to be especially careful if you're going to try out tricks that require a large trampoline. You can't just perform these tricks on a normal backyard trampoline. A full scorpion. No matter how skilled you are at trampolining, accidents can always happen. You don't need to be a complete amateur at trampolines to injure yourself, to the point where there's no return. One of the worst trampoline accidents to have ever posted on the internet was uploaded on a YouTube channel called Asargood. In this video, we can see a rather skilled person at gymnastics try to perform a double flip, something that requires a lot of skill to do. In a double flip, you basically don't flip for the first few bounces as you gain momentum, and when you're at a height you're comfortable with, you do 2 flips instead of 1 before landing perfectly on your feet. For this athlete, he seemed to have the basics down to a T. It was clear that he had done it before. Even as he was getting ready to make his handing, he was positioned almost perfectly. There was only one problem. He wasn't shifting his weight to his feet. This fatal flaw led to his back almost completely being crushed by the force of his landing, causing him to form a full scorpion position. We don't know what this young athlete is up to these days, but we hope his back is doing better than it was that day. The worst trampoline park? As we've mentioned, trampoline parks are popping up in almost every corner of the United States, and they are extremely popular. It seems like trampolining has turned into a rather fun recreational activity for families to enjoy, and it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. Some of these trampoline parks have a less than stellar reputation, such as this one trampoline park called Altitude in Gastonia, North Carolina. In 2019, a teenager at this trampoline park broke his leg, causing parents around the city to be outraged. If we're being honest, leg breaks aren't that shocking at trampoline parks, but what makes this one such a big deal is because of what happened 3 months prior. A 12-year-old boy named Matthew Liu died after a bad fall at the Altitude trampoline park, and these back-to-back incidents have led to people believing that it is the park's fault, not the children's. You have to remember that these trampoline parks make you sign a waiver before you're allowed to use them, and that's because they know just how dangerous these parks are. This may be a shady business practice according to some people, but you have to also also understand that a child's protection is the parent's responsibility. At the end of the day, the fault lies somewhere in the middle. How to break your ankle in 9 seconds. We've already talked about how dangerous double backflips can be when you're an amateur, but some people like to turn it up a notch and attempt triple backflips. Triple backflips are something even experts are scared to try, and when you try to do it in your own backyard, you're pretty much asking for trouble. In 2013, a YouTube channel by the name of Steez Bro Productions uploaded a video titled "Triple Backflip to Broken Ankle." You can probably predict what happens next. With the help of 2 of his friends giving him a double bounce, this man flies up in the air and does an almost perfect triple backflip. And this time, it seems like he's actually remembered to transfer his weight to his feet. Unfortunately for this man, his feet weren't positioned properly. He ended up landing in the middle of the 3rd flip, causing his ill-positioned feet to go slamming into the trampoline itself in the worst way imaginable. The man ended up breaking his ankle, as was expected, and he required crutches to walk for the next few months. Thankfully, the injury wasn't as serious as it could have been. One bad landing and he could have easily broken his neck. He should actually be thanking his ankle for saving him. This is just another example of why amateurs should never try to attempt dangerous tricks, especially one that even experienced professionals shy away from trying. Girl paralyzed after trampoline accident. Time after time, we've been given warnings by parents across the United States telling kids to stay away from trampoline parks and trampolines in general. Unfortunately for this Pittsburgh teen, she had to find out the hard way. In an incident that happened in July of 2020, 14-year-old Mary Maloney was at her father's house spending some time enjoying the trampoline in his backyard. However, things took a turn for the worse when Mary fell off the trampoline. Initially, she felt nothing at all, and it wasn't until much later that she started to experience so much pain that she had to be transferred to the hospital. At the hospital, they discovered that Mary had suffered a spinal stroke, something that happens when the spine undergoes immense stress abruptly. Mary was unable to move her legs, and doctors later confirmed that she would be paralyzed for the time being. Mary underwent a lot of physical therapy for the following year, but it yielded very few results and she is still unable to walk. However, paralysis from a spinal stroke is reversible, and Mary's mother is hopeful that her daughter will walk again one day. It just goes to show how a simple trampoline incident can completely change your life forever. Mary is just one of the many children that have had their lives turned upside down by a trampoline accident. 8-year-old dies after trampoline punishment. While most parents these days are warning their children about the dangers of trampolines, this one couple seems to use it as a form of punishment for their daughter, who was only 8 years old. For reasons unknown, the couple asked their daughter to continuously jump on the trampoline in the blazing sun, which eventually caused her to collapse and pass out. The child died shortly after the medics arrived, and it led to her parents, Daniel Schwartz and Ashley Schwartz, being arrested by the Odessa police. The child's death was ruled a homicide, and the parents are facing charges of both child abuse, homicide, and potentially of murder as well. This incident goes to show that perhaps trampolines on their own aren't the problem, but the parents who disregard their safety are the bigger problem. In any case, these parents will hopefully be convicted of their crimes, and people will be more careful the next time they allow their children to go on trampolines. That's a wrap for the scariest trampoline moments in gymnastics history. Which of these incidents scared you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.